Hello, and welcome to another Core Brands podcast. Today I am recording you this episode. It's a very kind of like giving you the context. It's a very rainy Saturday afternoon in Dublin, Ireland, and I'm writing content for my socials and for my newsletter. And I always try to repurpose my content into podcast episodes. That's kind of like the point of having more solo episodes going forward. So I was like, before I forget what I want to say, let's put this together and then just record this unplanned episode. So without waffling too much, what I want to tell you today and I want to talk about is something that I keep noticing every time I design a new website. Usually the clients come to me with very specific requests and something in mind. And as of lately, I even have clients coming to me telling me, I want my website to look like just like yours. And that actually made me really think about it, that we are kind of like losing the focus of what the whole point of having a website is. The website is supposed to be a tool that works for you on behalf of your business 24/7. It's always open. Different from a bricks and mortar shop, the website, it's supposed to be there even when you're not online. It's supposed to address your audience questions and it's supposed to be really clear and communicate really well what you can do for them. What problems do you resolve? So I am guilty of that. Attention, a big vulnerable moment here now, because I am currently shedding all my website and making it caveman style. I heard this expression a while ago. I don't know. I cannot remember from whom and where, but I just don't want to get the credit for it. I want anyone that lands on my website to understand immediately, what do I do? What problems do I resolve? How can they work with me? What's the next step? Like clear, super clear, no jargon, no overcomplicated visuals or even wording. So keeping it really simple and really functional, because that's what design is all about. Design is supposed to have a function, and a function is communicating. So I have watched clients get better results when their message is stripped back to basics, when their website sounds like a real human speaking to another real human. Not like a brochure, not like, and I know we all like to show off the things we say, the things we do, all those super cool words each industry has, but there's no point of me talking to you on designer language. When you're not a designer, you won't understand half of it probably. So I just want to break down things in a way that it's very easy to digest for everyone. So I had a client last year. The project got cancelled in the end because I was not able, well, not me, we were not able to row on the same direction, let's put it that way. So the website had, the normal 5-6 pages of a brochure website, very heavy content, mostly around the person. So it was very much focused on the business owner and not on the audience or the potential client. So, and I believe that this is kind of like an ego situation. We want to tell how good we are. We want to tell all the good things we did. And I understand that. And I think that's important to add to a website to build the trust and the reputation. But ultimately, what we want is people to land on the website and they feel like they are the hero of your story. You are going to resolve this obstacle they have in their business by doing X, Y, and Z. So it's kind of like shifting the perspective from who's the hero in this story. So long story short, this ex-client, beside the 6 pages she had on the website, and they were so long, like paragraphs and paragraphs of text. Each of the other pages had probably another 2 other sub-pages. So at the end, the website, I remember counting, it was around 22 pages. And they were not small pages. They were like heavy content pages. No one has time. No one gives. Nobody cares about all of that you have to say. It's boring. and it's really not making any good or any favor for your brand. It's just getting in the way of the customers actually reaching out to you and working with you. So when I tried to communicate that, it was not well received, because obviously ego was playing a big part on that person's journey in life. And then the project was not completed. So it got canceled. And that was that. As a designer, I do feel like I have a responsibility to work on what's best for you and for your brand. And I will do my best to give you the best advice and work in your favor. And if that means that I'm not the person to help you just because, someone just really wants to tell all the story of their life in their website rather than converting the website to get new clients, then maybe I'm not the right designer. But anyway, this was just a small story, kind of like to tie back to the concept. So what do I mean by caveman communication? Caveman communication, I mean plain language. No complex phrases, no fancy descriptions, no over-explaining. One of the things that I see very often, and even in my industry among designers, is naming your packages with very smart names. I did that in the past. Guilty here, and now I'm not doing that anymore. I have a package that it's called branding. I have one that it's called web design, and I have one that's called branding and web design. Simple and clear as water. I'm not going to call it like before. It was the core start, and then it was the core inform, and then it was, some people have like very elaborate names for their packages. I think the simpler the better. If you want to have, silver, gold, and diamond, that illustrates well. Or if you just want to have package 1, package 2, or package 3, that's also fine. Just try to stay away from packages that are difficult to remember and they don't really mean anything to your audience. They mean to you, which is okay, but they don't mean anything to anyone else. So that's just one extra tip. And then another thing that it's important is 3 questions that every visitor asks when they land on your website. Even if they don't really talk about it verbally, they think about these questions in their mind. What do you do? How can you help me? And how do I buy? What's the next step? And if a visitor cannot find these answers in seconds or after a few scroll, they will leave. Not because your work is not good, not because you're not the best in your industry, but because they don't understand it fast enough. So it has to be snappy. There has to be shorter paragraphs, titles. The font sizes, they need to play a huge part. And I might create another episode, a video, a screen recording episode about the typography on websites. If you write everything on the same font size or everything in bold and italic, people their eyes won't be able to differentiate what's first to read, what's more important, what's a title, what's not a title. If everything has the same level of importance based on the typography style, it gets very confusing and messy. Yeah, and then clear language reduces the overwhelm. It makes people feel safe, like they know what to expect. It builds confidence in you as a business owner because you are easy to understand and they will easily refer your website for someone else to visit as well if they have the same similar problem as they. And when people understand what you do, they will make a decision faster. So that is how clarity increases conversion. No, not through extra detail, not through more paragraphs, not through the story of your life, but through more simplicity, more snappy content. So yeah, I think overall, this is kind of like the message that I want to leave today. It's a very short episode, as I was saying, but I'm hopeful that it's a valuable one, that you can take some lesson and some inspiration from here to actually do something on your website, even shed a few paragraphs, shorten the headline. I did that just minutes ago on my new website that I'm building. I had like a huge headline on my hero on my own page, and I'm like, okay, Roberta, this is exactly what you do. But when people will land on your website, it's because they are in need of a brand web designer. So let's just shorten this. And then playing with the different font sizes on my hero section to kind of like say the rest that I want to say. but still keeping it very snappy. And write like you speak on your real life. Don't write big essays or very fancy words or jargon. So these small changes can increase clarity almost immediately. I do challenge yourself now, after listening this, go back to your website and see where can you cut and how can you make it more clear and more simple. And hopefully that will convert the visitors to make faster decisions and work with you. So this is my reminder. Clarity is authority. If a caveman could understand your message, your ideal client definitely will. Speak simply, say what you do, say how to buy. The easier you are to understand, the people will choose you. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, Designed by Roberta. Drop me an email or just comment below on the episode. I hope you find this very useful, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Core Brands Podcast. I hope you found insight, inspiration, or even a little nudge to take action in your own brand journey. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who would find it valuable. And if you want to keep the conversation going, you can find me over on Instagram at Designed by Roberta. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time.